Anyway, okay, so again, just in case it wasn't clear, screenshotted this, gave it to AI in FEWD, and we've got that. Okay. Hey guys, in this video we're going to look at FEWD Studio and AI integration. Okay, so this is something that I've been chatting with a few people in the FEWD user group for the last couple of weeks, and I've been asked to demo a bit more about AI integration, and I've been like, yeah, definitely going to do that, but before I did that, I've been working on another feature to assist with the AI prompting, and I'm going to show you that in this video. Also, I'm going to demo a few ways that you can work with FEWD Studio and the direct AI integration. So before I do that, I just want to say that over a month ago, I did this video, vibe coding is cool again, professional vibe coding, no more AI slop, okay? And what I showed you in that video was that just using the direct AI integration that you get with FEWD, I was able to cook up this entire web page with fully responsive web page, working navigation. I was able to cook that up in just a few minutes, and I encourage you to go and have a look at this video to see how I did that. But essentially the magic is that you give AI the constraints and the resources to succeed, but also you are the architect of the project. You tell it how to do the building. And so what I did here was I told it, use BEM methodology, only style on the selectors, only style using my variables and design tokens from my global style sheet. And it did that. And what that meant is that it took me 80–90% of the way, and I could then easily just pop around and make adjustments as I needed to. And this is just, it's great to have this AI integration in FEWD, but I would like you to properly understand how it works and exactly how it works and how you can use it. So I'm going to pause that and remove that browser. Let's go to FEWD Studio. First of all, let's talk about how AI is integrated here, because one of the first questions that a user was coming to me with this week was like, how is the AI trained? How is the AI in FEWD trained? Well, that's the thing. Firstly, it's not shipped with an AI model. It's not shipped with a pre-trained AI model that has those limitations. Instead, it just directly integrates with the terminal. And so AI integration is naturally integrates with, the terminal naturally provides that AI integration in the same way that VS Code and Cursor does. Cursor has a chat window also, I think, so I don't use it, but I always use the terminal anyway in VS Code and with Claude. And I use Gemini in here also, and that is how AI is integrated. You fire it up. So let's get Gemini on the case. Okay. Now Gemini is firing up, and then I have direct coding integration with AI, and it can be any model that you bring into the CLI there. So it's entirely up to you which one you use. The main thing is that you fire it up, it's there, ready to go, and it can interact with all of your files. It can create entire components. It can make any edits for you, and then it can help you deploy anything to GitHub or Vercel or anything like that. And that's the thing to keep in mind with FEWD Studio, is that it's first and foremost a code editor. It's a desktop code editor, just like VS Code. It's just that it has the visual interface ready to go and some visual, page builder type of features. But at its core, it's a desktop code editor with direct AI integration through the terminal. What that means is that there is no trained AI that comes along with this. It's not that restricted. It's not like having AI. The first one I ever tried was in Elementor, and it was just not worth the token usage. But yeah, this isn't a sort of a builder with a shipped AI model. It's you directly integrate with AI through the terminal. Again, just like VS Code and other code editors. So that in mind, the question is, how do we then, how can I assist you as the person that's created FEWD? How can I help you create awesome prompts, such as in that video? How can that be assisted from the FEWD side of it? Well, part of the discussion earlier this week was about, could FEWD come along with MD files that influence how the AI would behave, how it would construct pages when asked. And my immediate reaction to that was, the main thing about FEWD being a code editor, it's not locked into anything. It's not locked into any vendor. It's not locked into any host, to any CMS. You don't have to use a CMS. You literally work with your direct local project files, and you are free to be the architect of the project. That is true desktop coding. So it wouldn't be good if FEWD actually shipped with an MD file that was limiting your choices and telling you how to do something. But it still got me thinking. So I was like, okay, we can't have an MD file that is too prescriptive. But it would be helpful if the feature was there. Now again, FEWD Studio is simply, it's a code editor. You can fire up the project panel, and you can go in and you can create a new file. You can create something like fewdprompt.md, which I've now given away where I'm going to take this. You can simply create the file, and then, so new file. Okay, now it's created, and where is it? New file, and add panel, and I can start editing my new file. I can put a prompt in there. I can shape it. We're not training AI. We are giving it something to guide the context, to shape or influence all of the prompts. Give it a foundational prompt. And that's the thing, is that, again, it's not about getting spoon-fed with everything. Like this comes with a component creator. I'm not in an Astro project right now to show you, but this FEWD comes with for Astro. Let's open up an Astro one so you can see. We've got layouts. We've got the project panel with layouts. We can open up components or create new components. Got all these helpful things, but it shouldn't take away from our familiarity with the code structure, like how to put front matter together, or where to put our components, how to actually create a component architecture professionally. Okay, it shouldn't take away from that. But it does have all of these helpful things to do, and that's how I view the MD file to assist with prompts. Okay, it's not something that's prescribed, but it's something there to help you if you want some guidance with the prompt. It saves you going to my YouTube video on vibe coding and downloading the prompt that's available there again, because it's now in FEWD Studio if you want it. Okay, so again, we'll cover that. AI integration is by way of the terminal. It means that you use any AI you want to bring into the picture. Here's something cool. Gemini is free, at least at the moment. And that's what I used in that video, actually. But we can shape a prompt that will influence all of the prompts that we give it. So we've got BEM, so we want to tell it, use BEM methodology for all CSS class naming. Okay, that's something I want to have with every prompt as a given. Selectors, apply all styles via CSS class selectors only. Cool. Components, if I'm working in Astro or something that works with components, build all UI as usable self-contained components. BEM kind of does that anyway, either by defining with BEM or when framework allows. Okay, cool. Build UI as Astro components. That's actually a little bit of a repetition, but here we go into my preferred method of building components in Astro, which is to use the Astro file and then a template file and then the CSS. Okay, one source of truth. This is the big one. All design tokens, colors, spacing, typography must reference CSS custom properties from the global CSS file. Okay, never hard code visual values. Actually, I'm not sure if I like how. Yeah, no, that's fine. Use existing variables and tokens. Additional variables and tokens can be added to user area. That makes sense for Gen CSS, but should be created as last resort. All right, I have preference for it to use the available design tokens, and this makes sense for how it works with Gen CSS. No utilities. This is important. This is what I like. No utility classes. Don't use any of those. because Gen CSS does come with some, and AI would always tilt towards using it. Style exclusively through BEM selectors. I want to add something here. I would add something like aside from link primary and link secondary, okay? Because they are two utility classes for my buttons, and I would specify use these for primary button and website navigation links. Website secondary navigation links, something like that, right? Secondary navigation buttons, okay? AI gets it, it's all context. I've added no utilities, but I altered it. Responsive, I would like it all to be responsive. Cool, okay, I'm going to leave that as it is, okay? But what this does is generate AI files, okay? Now, they're already created here, but let's have a look at those AI files. So we've got Claude MD, all right? And if we open a panel with that one, you see that it's just added this instruction, FEWD prompt.md, okay? And then we have a look at FEWD.promptmd, which is the one that we've just created. I'm going a bit more in depth than I wanted to on here. I wanted to actually just get to demoing, really. But if we have a look at that, then we see all of the instructions that we gave it, okay? And we can customize this if there are other things that are important to us, okay? Cool. So we don't have a trained AI shipped with FEWD. FEWD is a code editor. We give AI context and we give AI prompts, and that's on a project by project basis. And of course, you can just leave that all blank if you just want to give unique prompts each time in the actual terminal interface. So let's have a look at actually creating something. I don't want to go so in depth as what I did with that video earlier, because it's mainly the same process. But let's do a little something. First thing I want to do is give a few resources to this one. I don't need that, so remove that. And I'm going to just throw in a few images to be used in a project. Of course, I should actually go to a clean project. So let's do an HTML at this point. Okay, so I'm going to close that one down. I'm going to go plus and set new project directory, desktop, and I'm going to do an HTML project. Newer website. I'll delete it soon. Newer website, create project. Okay, so we've got all of our project. FEWD has created all of that for us. We do need to have assets, and then in there we'll have images. Okay. Images, wonderful. Okay, so let's throw in some images. Good. Now, it's worth remembering that, again, this is a code editor on the desktop. I'm not uploading them to a browser or anything like that. I'm literally moving these around on my desktop. That's what's happening. They're all local code files. Okay, so I'm going to rename this one to hero service groups. You'll see why I'm doing it in a minute. Group and class. I need something like private. Private. One-to-one. And what else? And group. No, I've done group. Outdoor. Yeah, this one. Gonna do outdoor. Okay, cool. So I've got a few there. Right, I've got images. That's great. Let's fire up. Shall I use Claude or Gemini? I'll use Claude. I just hate using my tokens. Okay, first thing, actually, let's fire up Gen CSS. So newer website globals. Okay, I'm just going to give some colors, really. Something yoga-ish. So I don't know, something like that. I don't know, is that yoga-y? Yoga-y. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Don't worry, we can change it later. That's the cool thing. And accent, that some sort of deep cosmic purple. Okay, I'm not going to play around with everything or insert fonts and things like that. So that will do. So push to file, all done. Minimize that. And FEWD is saying, oh, I picked up a file change. And we've got our global CSS. That's wonderful. Right, now let's fire up the terminal, and yeah, let's open up Claude. Yes, I trust the folder. Yeah, cool. Okay, so assess. Oh, geez. Assess the project. Found Claude MD and assets. I always do this. I just want it to always go and have a little peek around and make sure that it's happy with it where everything is. So desktop, newer website, memory, cool. Now, there's no pre-setup here. I don't have it all in a perfect kind of, this is now going to work because I've carefully tailored the setup here. This is as I would sit at my desktop. I've fired up a new project, given a few images, and I'd get Claude onto the case. So here's what I found. Let me save context to memory as well. Cool. Project assessment. This is a yoga wellness website in early scaffolding stage. I've not even said anything yet. It's just looked at the images then. Did I have yoga website on here? No, newer website. Global CSS, great. Styles, both empty. That's great. Assets, image, good. No Claude MD and no Git repo. Okay, that's a bit confusing. So close that one down. Let's have a look at this. Oh, no, of course, I didn't do it, did I? What an idiot. Okay, cool. So let's have all of these. And that. We're going to generate the AI files and cool, close panels. Now, let's just have a peek. Claude MD. I'm not going to tell it about the FEWD prompt one because it should realize what that is anyway. There is now Claude MD. Sorry, I'll bring it up here so you can see it a bit more easily. Let me read it now. Cool. What rules? What rules? Did you find something in there, Claude? And did you go and have a little look-see? I think you did. Writing two memories. What rules come along? Aha, ha ha ha. The rules from FEWDprompt.md. Cool. One notable thing, the rule says Astro, but the current project... Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Ignore the Astro and component one. We can't build components in truly static HTML. Right, cool. Do you know what I mean? Right, cool. So, cool. So the active rules are fantastic. I don't use Whisperflow. I like to type and know that I've refined what I want to say. Saved, ready to build whenever you are. Cool. Let's build. Let's build the home page, clean, fresh, friendly yoga homepage. We have the images in the assets with appropriate. I'm not going to tell it much more than this at the moment. With appropriate names. Oh, appropriate names. Yeah, anything else that I feel is important to say in this prompt? I think that I think that it actually said about creating navigation that works. It should have been in there anyway. It was in one of my drafts, but no. Ensure navigation works, and no, I'm not going to say responsivity because I know that's there. Ensure navigation works, and homepage sections. This is important. Hero, then followed with a trust bar, then service is in a column of 3. Okay, then review section, then CTA. Okay, right, that's all I'm going to give it. Oh, I've actually done that. Okay, no worries. So in that video that I spoke to you about, I showed you earlier, what I'd done there was I had to shape it a little bit more. So, you know, you're going to give it a design brief. You're going to tell it what sections you want in there. But then I had to sort of say, you know, use selectors, use variables and design tokens and things like that. Okay, do you want to overwrite index HTML? After, I think it was about 13 minutes. That's an unlucky number. Yeah. Index HTML has changed. Okay, cool. Still going. 67,000 tokens. Oh, do you want to overwrite styles.css? Yes, I do. Reload. Ooh. Seren. Is it Seren? Do you want to overwrite app.js? Yes, I do. And yeah, reload that one. Oh, we had a bit of animation there. Cool. Okay, let's you know what, before we have a look, let's see what Claude is saying. All 3 files are written. Here's what's built: nav, sticky header, logo, hamburger toggle, animated X on open, drop down on classes with 2 placeholder items, book a class button. Yeah, cool. Fully accessible keyboard, escape closes. Great. Hero full height with hero.webp. Lovely. Dark gradient overlay, beautiful. Eyebrow plus, spotted that, yeah. Trust bar, services, great. Reviews, CTA, oh, and footer. I didn't actually say about footer, but that's fine. All styles are BEM, token only, mobile first with motion control via, awesome, great. Okay, well, let's have a little peek, shall we? Let's go full width on this one. Yeah. Ooh, okay, so I need to adjust the image there, but it's looking beautiful. That's really nice. Oh, lovely. Ooh, Claude, you gentleman, you. Oh, yeah, lovely. Very pleased with this. Ready to begin? I am indeed. Cool. That's a global CSS thing. I haven't defined that. Oh, I'm impressed. I'm very, very happy with that. And I need to have a look at what Claude did there, because I don't think I did. I don't recall. I was doing a video, so I don't think I did actually. This is a static one. So where's this? Hero button. Hero button. Yes. Oh, hero button primary. Okay, so they must be created. Let's have a look. Button primary variant. Oh, it's created a variant in FEWD. That's great. This is pretty lovely. Okay. Or what I would do is say that this image needs to be boosted up a little bit, so I would just have to change that. But that's the entire point of this. Oh, we haven't checked the responsivity. I mean, it's pretty good. Need to check out the mobile. Oh God, look at that. Yeah, I mean, I'm all right with that. Do you know what? You just got to tweak things, all right? So let's have a look at this. Hero title. Okay, so hero actions, hero title. Maybe not the BEM methodology or the names that I would use, but you know, you're giving something up if you're handing it over to something else. But look, it's perfect. Hero content, hero eyebrow, hero title, wonderful. Move, breathe, be still. And let's have a look at that actually. So hero title, that's text display. What would that be if it was XXXL? I think that is tokenized to that, to be honest. Yeah, cool. But let's pop to Gen CSS and we'll change the typography. Maybe we want to have a different ratio. Okay, so we're going to pop to major third. We're going to make that fourth. Okay, so a bit bigger. Push to file. Reload that. And ooh, yeah. Okay, now that's lovely. Great. Okay, so obviously, you know, it's all tokenized, it's all variables, so you know it's going to take that ratio throughout the whole thing. What do you prefer? Loving this call to action here. That looks beautiful. Okay, and again, yeah, it's right. Anyway, right, I'm impressed. All right, so that's I'm not going to delete that one. I thought I was just going to delete this project, but we will use that elsewhere. So everything is saved. All right. This has become a bit of a longer video or experience for me because that was about 13 minutes, but it was 13 minutes of, I've got to admit, it wasn't productive time. I scrolled the gram. Okay. Right. Now let's have another look at some other AI capability. All right. So obviously we can, let's do creation first. Let's look at Prompt Pro. This is one of my experiments. So I like the Score App website. So this one here. And what I did with this is actually it happens to be very, very similar to what Kevin Geary did with Etch Static-ish. And that was very impressive. I thought that was a wonderful demo. And of course, you know what that is about is the power of the AI agent. It's not about the environment that you're in. It's not about whether it's FEWD Studio, VS Code, or anything else. It's about having the integration with the AI agent, and then it interpreting what you give it. And so what I did is I gave it a screenshot. I just took this screenshot. I did not give it photos or images in the project. And in about 7 minutes, it produced this, which I was really pleased with. So again, it had the constraints that I put in place, and where it didn't have the images, it created these nice little avatar ball things, and I can obviously go and put what I want in there. I could add an image in there and code that up as I like, but it got the heavy lifting done. Look at that, and look at the original screenshot. In fact, actually, I've got another 7 minutes to burn. Should we do that? Let's do that. Yeah, we're gonna recreate this. Okay, so I'm going to kill this project. I'm going to create another one. Set project directory, and I'm going to go for Score App Hero. Okay, and the thing that I really want to quickly do is jump along to Gen CSS. I just need to grab this, and just need to put in some colors really. So I'll just do that and that. I don't really know the Score App colors. We'll see what happens there, because you know this should be winning out. So it might not look exact because I'm giving it some different values. It shouldn't do anyway. That's in place, and just because I didn't last time, let's quickly create a link variant. Okay, so primary. Oh, but we've got the buttons there, which are cool. Good. And background primary, white, padding, block padding 0.5 em, 1.25 em. That will be fine. Text decoration, we want none. Cool. All right. Last thing is hover color. Okay. Hover dark 1. Okay, so push to file. I'll leave the rest as it is. I just wanted to give it something. So reload that, and that's cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is pop along here and open up Claude. Okay, yes, I trust this folder, and we are grabbing this. Okay, in the previous example, I had those tabs and it made that, but I'm not going to do that on this one. Okay, right. Just need to set my prompts. All right, my prompt specs. So I just want all of these. Fine. Maybe that should be the default. Generate and close. Okay, so I've got the shape of my prompt. Those are the things that are important to me. Get the read of the project. Okay, just making sure that it's got it in play. Try Fable 5. Okay, no, cracking on with this at the moment. Claude is just getting his bearings with the project files that are, obviously, in this project. There's not really much there at the moment. I don't have any images. It can't fill the images. Obviously, I've already shown you the output that I got earlier, and it just made those little colored blobs, and it just meant that I had everything where I needed it to be. Cool. All right. Semantic tokens, background. It's just getting the state of everything. Good stuff. Right. I'm not going to be too complex about this one. Build this section. That's where we'll go. All right. I suppose it's back to the gram now, isn't it? Now, I don't think I'm going to fit it into this video, but something that I did want to do, just to show you, because it's worked for me already, is that you can use this method to build in Astro. And obviously, FEWD comes with a one-click Astro install, so you just start the project as I did for this one, and simply click Astro project. It starts that up the terminal, it installs everything for you. And then you literally just have to give it some directives there. Now, we already have some in the prompt there about, build in components with preference. And then, you can add to that and shape it further if you want. So, yeah, I'm going to have to, I think I'll have to show you that in a different video. I've been asked for this video for a couple of weeks now, and actually building with Astro components was one of the things I said about, but I did quite a bit of work this week to get the sort of like auto prompt assistance in place, which I think is pretty important, to be honest. And it's like we're drawing to a close. So do you want to overwrite index.html? Yes, I do. And reload that one. Cool. Okay. And do you want to overwrite styles.css? So yes, we do. And we'll reload that. And let's see what we have here. Yeah, absolutely cool. Let's go into framework mode just so that we can look at that. Yeah, wonderful. Working navigation. Oh my God. Let's have a look at the original. Okay. I mean, it didn't have that on the screenshot, did it? So yeah. Okay. So that's the original. And then we jump along to FEWD here. And if we had images, as you saw in the last example, it would have put the images in there. And God, I can't believe this is just like rocked up just from a screenshot. It took all the initiative there. It's the difference between prompts. There's a bit of me that's like, is this actually in FEWD? Have I changed the URL or something? But no, this is the website. This is absolutely crazy. I've just done something, and yeah, there we are. Ooh. Yeah, amazing. I don't even recall approving an app.js. Yeah, so there we are. I was going to say, like, what the hell? But look at that. Look at everything that it's put together here. I'll look at that in a second, Claude. Very impressed though. So look, this is code. This is a desktop code editor. We've got our global style sheet. We knew about that anyway. We've got our styles CSS. Okay, so this is just perfect. And look, everything has been done with BEM. All right, you can see that. Absolutely perfect. App.js, God, that's, yeah, wonderful. And yeah, and globals, we've done that. So this was the screenshot, okay? And this was what FEWD kicked out, okay? Screenshot, boom, okay? Really, really fantastic. The thing is, you've got to remember, it's the AI doing the work. Obviously, it's pulling here from different bits on my instructions, my prompts, and God, I mean, I almost want to like grab this for my. I almost want to start my Boost Digital site all over again, and maybe actually that will be the next video, because that's an Astro site, and then you'll see AI create all of the different components. Fuck, I'm doing that. All right, okay. Tomorrow's video is building out Boost Digital again. I love this menu. I absolutely really love this menu. Anyway, okay. So again, just in case it wasn't clear, screenshotted this, gave it to AI in FEWD, and we've got that. Okay. Just actually, I'm gonna have a look at that, because yeah, that element there. Let's have a look. The header. Look at that. It's the nav logo. It's done all these little rectangles in the SVG, because look, we've got SVGs available here and everything, and it's splat all of that in. I am so impressed. I'm so impressed. I mean, like, I've seen it do this anyway when I'm testing and things like that, but I'm still so impressed, and I love this menu. So yeah, very, very chuffed with that. Desktop code editing with FEWD Studio and AI, fantastic. Claude, well done. Right, okay, so there we have it. There have been questions this week about what you can do with AI in FEWD Studio. I hope I've answered those questions. It's not a trained model. You're directly, using integrated with any model that you want to bring into FEWD. Although I think Claude really does a great job. Gemini also does a great job. Again, check that previous video. And obviously, as we know with prompts and with AI, if you can give it an image, if you can give it a great prompt, we've started from scratch from a web design brief and a global style sheet. And actually, we got the bulk of a web page together, built with BEM, with styling on selectors, in line with our global style sheet, all from a screenshot. Took me a second. So, well, it took 13 minutes, actually, about 13 minutes. But that's Claude doing its process thing. That's the AI model. I could have bumped that up, obviously, to a later one. Don't forget that originally FEWD was built to handle the interface, whilst something else was doing the heavy lifting of logic and things like that. So VS Code, you can download Cursor, and you'll have Cursor on your desktop, and you'll have FEWD Studio on your desktop, and they're both accessing the same files. All right, so you can have Cursor and use Composer, which maybe that does a better job. I don't know. You can play around. The point is, you're not locked into anything with FEWD. You're just accessing your files with this interface. But as it stands, using the terminal with Claude or whatever else you want to integrate with on CLI, it does a great job. If you want to use something like Cursor and Composer or any of the others, you have them on your desktop and you use those, and they just access the same files, and you preview it and tweak it all in FEWD. So then we can just start getting into the elements and start fine tuning. It's done the heavy lifting. We're just good to go. We've got to tweak a few bits. Cool. Okay. So I think my next challenge is, I wanted to show you an Astro build, one-click Astro build with FEWD Studio. Then we give it a few images, a few prompts, as I've shown you here. And then it's actually going to compose all of the components and build them into our layouts, which it will also take care of. So that's in the next video, because I'm quite excited about checking this out myself. And finally, I'll get to finish the Boost Studio website, which I keep rebuilding in different ways. Right, okay, like, subscribe, comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts on this one, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.